This is the most delicious-looking trick-taking game, but this is not a brand new game, right? You said this is a reprint?
This is a reprint of a German game called Pi mal Pflaumen, which was then republished a couple years after that as Plums. Has been out of print for a while and is back as Pies.
Well, there's still plums in this. So
there are plums, yes.
Plum pie, baby.
there is that. There's also 3.14. Here's Z to tell you more.
Here we're going to be taking a look at a game for 4 players. The game's going to be played over 3 hands of cards, and at the end of the third hand of cards, whoever has the most victory points is the winner. We begin by grabbing the first deck, shuffling it, and dealing it out to all the players around the table. With that done, the start player will play a card from their hand. There are no suits in this game, just numbers. If you're playing with 4 players, they will go up to 24. So the lead player will play a card. Everybody else will play one as well. Again, there are no suits in this game, so they can play whatever they want to from their hand. Once this is done, we are going to be ranking the players based on the number they played. And so the highest number will get number 1. Second highest number, right here, will get number 2, number 3, number 4. Now, using these numbers, you will claim one of these cards that's been played, and the cards are going to give you possibly a few different things. So they'll all have a fruit that you can collect and make sets with. Some of them will be cards you can make a set with and score. You can use this card with 2 other matching fruits, turn that in as a pair, and get 5 victory points. This is how you win, by making victory points. This symbol here lets you steal a fruit card in front of someone else. This symbol here gives you 3 pie tokens. What are the pie tokens? They are 3.14, and you can add them to a card you play to increase the value, helping you go earlier in this drafting right here. So this would give you 3 of these tokens. You can add as many as you want to a card you play. And so now this player perhaps keeps their own card. They'll put that face up in front of them. This player over here, maybe they want this one. And they'll take that one there. Maybe number 3 takes this one. They will take that. They will get their 3 pie tokens. And then number 4 gets this one. And they can steal something from in front of someone else. Maybe they'll steal that. With that done, these will return to the center of the table, and whoever had the number 1, in this case that player there, they will play a new card, and we will keep going around. The different cards will have different sets, as you can see here, 3 different ones, and they might even give you the dog. If you have the dog in front of you, that is going to protect you from being stolen from until somebody takes the dog away. But while you have it, no one can steal from you. The last player, by the way, whoever took the number 4 in that divvying up, also gets a plum card. So everybody will get one of these plum cards, and it's simply another fruit card that they will collect. So the player who had the number 4 also gets that plum card there, and there's a stack of these here. The idea then being that you will make these sets and get victory points, and these cards, once we have run out this hand, we will do the same thing with the second stack, and there will be larger sets as we go up, so 2 pairs there, 5 different fruits for 10 victory points, triples there for 8, and so on, and again, different fruits that you'll be able to use throughout the game. They have both the imagery and a symbol right there to let you know what that is. And then the same thing for the third and final deck with ever-increasing sets, 3 pairs, and so on. So there you go. That is the game. At the end of that third hand, whoever has the most victory points that you put aside and keep this card for, you would keep that for the 6 victory points if you fulfill it. Whoever has the most victory points is going to be the winner of the game.
So, as Tom and Z mentioned in the intro, this is a game that has been around for a bit of time, and it's from a designer with a pretty solid pedigree. And so I had played this version of Pies. I had played in the other versions as well. It's a game that I think I understand why it keeps getting reprinted. It has kind of a classic feel. And what I mean by that is that really the trick-taking in Pies is really in service to set collection. That's really where you're getting your points, is by collecting a tableau, and the trick taking is basically a turn order mechanism. I've played other games like that, and it's a neat way to do a turn order mechanism to really service what you're really trying to do, which is set collection. And so, again, I understand why it has lasting appeal. I think that it's a very solid design, but there are a couple of things that I don't love about it, and I haven't loved in any of the versions. And that is, there's a stealing mechanic. You can steal cards from other players. It's okay, but for some reason I don't particularly love it when it feels a bit disconnected. I don't know why you kind of had to have that in there. Maybe there's a mechanical reason why you want it, but for me it always felt like, it's kind of a bummer, right? I don't love having cards stolen from me. So there's that, and also I have to admit that the pie thing feels a bit like a gimmick. Okay, that you can add 3.14 to a card. Well, all right, you're adding 3. Okay, I don't know why the 0.14 matters. Again, maybe there's a mechanical reason why, but I've never figured it out in all the times I've played it. It feels gimmicky to me, and so that I don't love. That being said, it's been around for a number of years. It has sold plenty of copies. I've played it many, many, many times. So I would still give it a 7. I can still recommend it, but it's not my favorite of these types of games, where trick taking is used as a mechanism to serve a greater scoring purpose. So 7, it's good. It's been around a while. It's kind of earned its place, but it's not my favorite.
Pies is also, to put that down, Pies is also not my favorite, but I've actually owned a version of it for years. It's one that, again, it feels like a trick-taking game second and a set-collecting game first. That's really what it's about, like Mike was saying. And yes, there's some take that in there, a little theft. You want to have the dog to protect you, all of that stuff. But it's an interesting game, and it's one that's weirdly sort of has too many rules to be an introductory take that game. But if you are someone who is a serious card gamer, you're gonna definitely not enjoy some of the weirdness. Wait, you can take one of my cards? I was gonna make a set with that. I'm working on it. I need to have a dog to protect me from you taking things. That mechanism, that idea is such a take that card game concept.
Really,
I'm gonna attack you. Block! You know what I mean? It has that vibe, so I get it, and it's always been a weird theme. This idea of it was geometry and math meets fruit. I know that there is a German explanation as to the theme, a historical explanation. I never figured it out. I don't understand it, and that's been dropped, by the way, now. But I like this one. I don't love it. I like it. I'm coming in at a 7.5 for this one. It's one I'm happy to have. It's a fun, weird game. And if I want to bring something to the table and play with folks that are familiar with card games, that this isn't going to be too weird, and show them something off the beaten path. Be like, let me show you one you maybe haven't seen, one that's a little odd, bit of an odd duck. This is a good one for that. I like this one. There's some comfort here. Maybe because I've played for a long time, but there's some comfort here.
Yeah, I like it too. I agree with Mike. The take that thing just is the one thing. I'm giving this a 7. I'd give it higher because I actually like the lightness of it. I love the 3.14. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love the pie pieces, and we have the upgraded ones from All Play with the wooden. Oh,
nice.
So good.
Very nice.
But I also really, but as a side note, love the art in this game. The art is fantastic. I mean, I really want to eat fruit after this game. Not forget pie. Just the fruit on these cards is great. I did find it weird that they show fruit and not fruit pies in the pictures, but I guess it's easier to distinguish. An apple pie and a peach pie look pretty similar.
That's how it always has been like that. The artwork was always the fruit.
Also, they put rhubarb in. Smart. Anyhow.
That was cool to see, yeah.
But to take that and the dog, I know they needed a couple more mechanisms. You needed a couple more mechanisms, right, for people to do. And it's also, I don't even know if I would call it a trick-taking game.
It's kind of a weird one. Mike was that was a great observation. It's a turn order mechanism.
Yeah, which is fine. It just kind of, I'm going to take this card and but I like that concept. I like it in games. I like it everything. The take that brings it down a bit, but not too much. You just play it on a very light level.
The set collection's really fun in this game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why for me this is a 7.5, is because it is kind of a family weight game. Having played a trick-taking game before just helps you kind of understand the cadence of the flow of the game, basically, because that's where it's a trick, I suppose. Everyone plays a card around in order, highest person gets to go first, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
But it is fun set collection. It is a little goofy. Haha, I stole this thing because I want it for a recipe, right? It doesn't feel constantly mean, and you're always getting something. Even if you play the lowest card, you get something from the middle, which feels nice. And in fact, if you play the lowest card, you get the plum, which is a wild, right? Not a wild. It counts as another fruit for recipe fulfillment, which is a nice way to do it, because some of these games you're dealt a bad low hand, and you're like, whew, this is a bad hand for me. Not so much in this one. It has that nice familiar feel, even if I haven't played it for a decade or more. And it's just welcoming. Yep, 7.5.
There you go, folks. That's Pies.